important video on Meld, and I've got to thank Lexus Prime. I've got to thank him doubly because I didn't understand the teachings he was trying to give me on Meld, and I say it takes me in a completely different direction, and it may actually help others as well. Right, so first things first, one of the things that he mentioned was insta-kill rune on blossoms. Okay, so you got flourish with the rune, which would override immunity. Right, so you need flourish as high as possible to override the immunity as high as possible. And then if you've got insta-kill in here, then insta-kill can work. You know what I mean? So that's a double. So the magic would work and the insta-kill can work. That's a lot of investment, but that is an absolutely amazing idea. Now, the other thing that he was kind of hinting at, I think, or one way or another, we get to the same point. I think, especially for free to play, it's hard for us to get the cards that we want, and then you've got to get a duplicate. And I think other people have been mentioning if you've got a meld on a card, you can meld it off. But also, what I'm thinking is, if you're free to play, you've got to evolve cards that you intend to use as a duplicate, beyond level 10. You know what I mean? You don't need to enhance it to level 15, but you need to evolve it beyond level 10. So that maybe you get a lucky fourth skill. Maybe that lucky fourth skill is the one that you want. It's very unlikely, but it's possible. And I think for free to play, that has to be the strategy. So for me, in the meantime, I don't have the Flourish rune, but I'm really happy with this fourth skill of Tempest, which has got that 30% chance to make all creatures skip their next turn. That's huge at the mid-level and lower late game. Huge. I'm really happy with that anyway. But yet the future, once I've got the Flourish rune for you Blossoms, will definitely be insta-kill, and that would be absolutely awesome. And thank you again, Lexus Prime. That was an absolutely amazing suggestion. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that helps the free-to-play out there. So now all I'm going to do, with that in mind, is just scan about what my next kind of priorities are. Now, because I'm talking about priorities, our man Lexus made another suggestion. One of them was to put, say, revive or recycle on a Phantom Leech, I think it was. Did I meld that? No. So I've got a lucky four skill of Frost Armor. That's hard to let go for lower level game. You know what I mean? Not for end game. Really, that should be. It's got to be immunity or nothing. Your cards end game, everything has to have immunity. Really, you know what I mean? Unless it's just there for a different purpose of out and out damage, like you go with the Blossoms. You know what I mean? It's pointless having Blossoms with a magic if you can't do any damage. So you've got to have the Flourish. But the magic on its own isn't a lot, basically. Let's go back to the front. I'm talking about Blossoms. Right. So the magic on its own, at the maximum of 500, even though it's to all creatures, yeah, early game, fair enough. End game, not so much. But that Flourish rune with insta-kill, I think that's the only way to go. Only way to go. Oh, that Flourish rune with this Tempest. 30% chance. We're talking about all creatures skipping. Tempest really not bad at all. Damn. I think that's good enough, Tempest. Insta-kill's better. Tempest with Flourish, really good. I'm thinking also, would I be bothered enough to, number one, get Flourish just for Tempest and enhance it so that the percentage chance of ignoring immunity is high? Flourish 10 is going to be 100% chance, but yeah, I don't know if I'll do that. I don't know if I'll do that. I ain't even done that for Violence and Protein on my Dark Summoner, but it's a thought, and it's something to aim for free to play as we go, and it feeds in very well with my man Bilko and his suggestion about utilizing Momoya. So for Momoya, and this is very, 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 very important. Okay, Momoya's not on at the moment, but that's where you get your noble lord or lord materials for in order to build the equipment. You pair up Momoya with the spending days and you get those rewards, And this happens to be one of those things that counts towards Momoya. Well, where's the mall? Where's the mall? Something's wrong. Right, so I'm going to go out of that. That counts towards Momoya, the lucky spin, basically. So you've got to put it all together as free to play. So number one priority is going to be Alice Bond. You get your gems, you save whatever quantity you need, so maybe you can do very well on a spending day, or maybe indirectly you need to wait for Momoya, or you might need to wait for one or two Alice Bonds and then a spending day at the same time as a Momoya. That may well be you. That may well be you, and then you are smart. You're smart, GI. You're smart free to play. That's the way to go. So real massive thanks to Bilko and Lexus Prime, two geniuses amongst men, no doubt about it. So yeah, I think that I got really lucky with the blossoms. To summarize, and short term, I'm really happy with the Tempest. Where is it? Really happy with Tempest as a lucky 4 skill. And just to summarize the rest of the video, yeah, as I said, the duplicates that you use, I think it may be worth evolving just to see what that 4th skill is. And if it's useless, then use it, keep it as it was for melding. But the ones that are useful, make sure that you try to lock it. There you go, that you lock it. Yeah, I think that Tempest is useful. So for me, Flourish Rune is now on my radar. One of the other things, Phantom Leads. I don't know about you, Phantom Man. I think he's talking, him being Lexus Prime was talking about Frostblade, and I think with Sweeping Blow, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely going to be more useful than Frost Armor, but Frost Armor is a lucky 4 skill, you know what I mean? Early game, absolutely amazing. I think about that one. Yeah, me and Bilko spoke many times about the insta-kill rune on Undying Will, and I think either immunity or detonate or disposal, something along those lines, could be very nice on that type of card. Oh, so I got a bit of a cold. My other priority, I think you talked about Revenant. I do have a Revive just sitting around. So, yeah, what the plan would be, see what's happening with this in terms of lucky 4 skills. I do have a Revive card just sitting around. I don't mind using up copies of Revenant, even though it does have Retreat, because I have a lot of other cards with Retreat. So, that could happen. That could happen. Still wouldn't make my main deck, but a tournament deck could be very useful. And there's no getting around that Revive is quite useful anyway. So that's a potential meld. So yeah, I probably will end up with evolving 1 or 2 Revenants. And definitely Spirit Siren. Definitely Spirit Siren. Just keeping evolving these to see what the 4th skill is. For Spirit Siren, this all creatures skip, and I guess with the Voodoo, well, definitely a Voodoo man in terms of rage control, insta kill with the rune could be very useful. And if that doesn't work, you still got Rebirth. Why not? Yeah. So if you've got those Gorgons just sitting in your deck and you're free to play, I would recommend evolving her. Just see what lucky 4 skill you get, and maybe think about insta kill Meld. I'm not saying it's the only one in the world. Hold on. What I'm thinking is, say if you don't get that insta kill Meld, is it worth putting immunity on her? For me, no. For me, no. Insta kill will detonate for me on Spirit Siren, but as I say, I will definitely be evolving those 4 skills. Gemini, I've seen this a few times. If you can have Blossoms, Blossoms and Gemini deck is obviously very complementary. Definitely very complimentary. And now I've got that Tempest. Oh my gosh, Gemini, you are going to get evolved. That's on my plans. And in terms of 4th skills, I don't want to be like a record, but yeah, always insta-kills a consideration with the rune, and always detonate is a consideration. Yeah, and again, as always, immunity, but I don't think this is a late game card. Flourish could be a late game card with that rune on it, but I don't know if this one will, even though I've seen it. But definitely worth evolving and just, rolling that dice. What else? What else? What else? What else? I've talked about you, Phantom. Right, let's go to Neander. Listen, just because I skip past these doesn't mean there's some which aren't worth evolving. It depends what cards you've got sitting in your deck, you know what I mean? So this is a fresh thought for me, believe it or not. And again, thanks to Bilko and Lexus Prime. One of the cards that people were particularly, or one of the evolves that people were particularly keen on, especially Bilko and Lexus Prime, two massively powerful guys who know the game, is a revive Meld on Onari. So you get double revive, death revive, basically. That would be a commitment, though. Oh my gosh. I think I've seen Onari in Lucky Spin, so you know what? You can get lucky. What I'm thinking is, though, yeah, so you get the plus side is you can revive nearly damn near everything. Yeah, so but the duplicate is Onari, and the card to be melded is a revive card. So that's a lot of revive in order to make this meld. Oh my gosh, but yeah, this one card could revive everything and just drink you out. And with rebirth, just completely reset your position. Whew. Yeah, as I said, you need to be Onari deep. You need to have revive, to be melded onto it as well. It's definitely something to be considered. And there's my other Onari, so I'm probably going to evolve this, see the fourth skill, and hope to get lucky. Who knows? That's the thought for that. Okay, let's go on to my Fi. I thought it was Fane, but anyway, Fi. Blossoms there with that lovely meld I've talked about a few times. The Tempest, very nice. This Sea Wizard probably be used for the Frost Blade at some point to be melded on something else. My man Lexus Prime was talking about sacrifice for this. It's already got picking off. Yeah, in a Blossoms deck, I think this, you know what I mean, for the free to play, definitely useful. But also this is why we're talking about sacrifice. Basic attacks have a 50% chance. That's every round, but it's only 50. But anyway, chance to deal direct damage equal to 100% of this creature's attack while you need sacrifice to 2 random enemy creatures. I'm going to go for that, sacrifice. This full skill, absolutely useless, or not useful enough, put it that way. So that's that. I did already try and get a lucky full skill on Phoenix. That's not good enough. I think it's going to be in a Blossoms deck, isn't it? With the Flourish, you really want to have out and out magic damage, which is what it's got. Pyre, I guess, Restoration. It's got the Rebirth. Yeah, something else damage related maybe for this one. For me, all the usual insta kill and detonate. Who knows? Let's look at this one. That one's not evolved yet. Hero Hunter. Did I get 2 Hero Hunters? No, Retaliate. Anyway, I'm not happy with those 4th skill, so those will be used as duplicates at some point. Okay, I talked about Sea Wizard and the Frostblade. Obviously, this is just, fodder for being melded onto something else. Yeah, so I will evolve that just to see the full skill. Let's move on. In terms of the interesting human melds, they're just not interesting enough to use, is my point of view. Titania, Chain Strike, nah. Archdiva, yeah, that'll be used just for the retreat to meld it off. It will never ever make a deck. Never. I'm not a mythical person. I do see it with revive melds. Yes, he does have immunity. Um, nah, not for me, not for me, not for me. And there's my backup card that will only be used to meld that revive onto something else. That's it. So yeah, very important video again. Shout out to Lexus Prime and to Bilko on just the concept of was just starting the seed of the concept of not just using duplicates at zero, especially the rare ones. Evolve those ones, evolve them to see what lucky force skill that you get. It might actually be quite useful. Listen, if you're paid to play, you've got loads of cash, you know what I mean, and you haven't got the time, the patience. Absolutely fine. And that was me as free to play, playing like a pay to play. But if you're free to play, you've got to see what that force skill is. Probably you might well get lucky, like I did with. I feel like I did anyway. With Tempest on that Blossoms, honestly, it's made me really, really happy. It's just the potential of it. Um, as I said, for the reasons, with all the background that I gave to it. Anyway, please let me know your thoughts. I hope all is well. Enjoy yourself. That is Steve, and I am out.